Welcome one and all to the Cap Club Bar with today's edition of the Cap Club Podcast. I'm Digital Bacon. Joining me behind the bar, as always, is Chewbacca back. And Bunny, what are you doing over there?
What do you mean? I'm just standing here.
Yeah, but you seem to be like just, I don't know, vibing by the jukebox over there, and I'm just like
always
curious. Yeah, what are you putting on that jukebox? What are you adding? What sort of tunes are going on right now?
Papa.
Ah.
Yeah,
Papa. That's a good song.
That's a good song. I know it's a good song. Gonna vibe on that.
Anyway, talking about good songs, good vibes. How are we doing this week, boys? What is going on in the world of Chewy right now?
Pretty good vibe, dude. Pretty good vibe. You know, as usual, Sunday's recording day. But today, we recorded after Formula 1. So I just watching Formula 1. Did a nice morning walk as well. And later today, gonna celebrate my brother's birthday. So it's been a good day so far, dude. So don't ruin my day. I warn you.
I'll try not.
No fighting today. I'm tired of fighting.
How's your day been going, buddy? What you been up to?
I worked out.
Ooh.
Did some gaming. And that's it. And yeah.
So working out and gaming are two secluded things of Buns. So, you know, I was expecting him at the gyms to be, you know, weightlifting that switch, Chew, right? That is his workout. But, you know, bench pressing a switch.
Of course.
I would probably think like a GameCube, dude, because it's easier. It's like a dumbbell with the handle.
Oh, that reminds you of the Reggie thing for E3, right? That was dope.
The Reggie workout. That's Bunny, dude. That was Bunny. That actually footage of Bunny gymming.
Yeah. Like, Bunny on his TikToks, and Reggie came along, saw him, and was like, I want to be the Flex Bunny. And that's how it all happened, you know. I wouldn't lie to the guys at home, would I?
No, you would not. Well,
maybe
you would lie, but then again, you just lie to us. Like, if you like to tell me, also lie to us, so we're all in the same boat. If he lied, he's just a dickhead, as you all know. But speaking of the GameCube, dude, we can Nintendo, dude. I don't know, this news is really recently fresh from the press, as they say.
Wow, okay.
Literally like 10 minutes ago, dude. Nintendo just said two things, dude. One thing, Switch is on its way to beat the Wii. No surprise. Last time was 80 million. It might happen this year, I doubt it though, but it's gonna happen soon anyways. It's gonna be epic, dude. Second thing, they want to expand like the whole IP to movies and such. As you already know, there's of course the Mario movie coming up, but they said they also want to expand into like different IPs they have. Maybe some Zelda, maybe some Star Fox.
Okay.
And any hypers?
Massive hypers, and you know which brand I think is going to be the biggest one for that?
What do you think?
Splatoon. We got Splatoon 3 coming up.
The anime,
Splatoon's already got a manga.
Okay.
I wouldn't be surprised if we see a Splatoon anime, Chew. You know, to go along with this story, because I feel like that's going to be the biggest area for Splatoon 3 to grow is the story. We've already had the, you know, stories in the games, but they don't feel like massive, like they're following the Squid Kid. So I feel like that's probably a great area of growth, because the world seems like massive, you know, when you're playing, you're just doing a small part to it.
Chaos this time, dude. It's gonna be chaotic, so they can do a lot with that theme, I guess. But I mean, Splatoon is doing well in Japan, so I would think a movie also do really well in Japan, just because they're a big fan of the Splatoon world. Is there anything you want to see, Bonnie? Any movie adaptation?
Yeah, give me Donkey Kongi.
Okay,
Donkey Kong.
Good choice.
Maybe some Wario action. Give him a show.
With Waluigi, of course, otherwise...
Well, Waluigi, of course, I mean...
The sidekick, yeah, that's it.
Dude, no,
okay, chill.
They could actually make a really good movie.
Yeah.
Like the Joker movie, but instead it's Waluigi, dude. We live in a society!
And I wouldn't be surprised if they, like, maybe Metroid.
Yeah. Metroid is, I would think, a really big factor, because of course it's also like a female lead, so...
My only problem with Metroid is I'd want it to be live action, right? I feel like you could do great stuff with sci-fi with Metroid, but I don't know if Nintendo's all for that. I remember the live action films of the 90s with Super Mario Brothers and that.
They're good, man.
They were not good. They were trash.
Amazing, dude. I don't know what you're talking about.
No, they're uber dog shit. The Goombas were just like a small head on a giant body. Like, okay, this is a Goomba, I guess.
But listen, I also want a live action Donkey Kongi. What do you expect? I want to see a real ape.
Dude.
Like, come on, man.
They can easily recreate Godzilla versus King Kong, dude. Donkey Kong
Yeah.
versus Bowser.
Yeah,
Or
come on, this is
King K.
possible.
Rool. King K. Rool as well, dude.
King K. Rool,
This
easy
is
clap.
main villain.
That's it. King K. Rool versus Donkey Kong. Just do
It would probably even better as well, dude. It would be better than Godzilla versus King Kong.
It
For
would.
sure.
like.
I
Does
mean-
King K. Rool get like his pirate costume and captain hat and all
why
of
not,
that?
dude?
Oh.
Well,
not? Oh.
not the entire movie, of course, but there will be a scene where he's wearing it.
Yeah, there's a scene in the wardrobe where he's like, what outfit should I wear to fight Donkey Kongy? But if everyone listening, we do know it's not Donkey Kongy, but it's like how they like to say it.
Nah, it's just Donkey Kongy
Okay.
sounds more fun.
Yeah, it does sound a lot more fun. It's also like a meme from a certain streamer we watch, so it also helps. Also helps with the name. But like speaking of live action, like of course it was also leaked that there was actually a live action Legend of Zelda series coming on Netflix, but then you know they stopped doing it because it got leaked and they were like, oh shit, what's happening? Shit, get it off.
So, with that,
Let's see.
who do you think would make it? Do you think Nintendo's going to start doing this in-house, guys, or do they hire someone like
They will probably
let's say
hire
an
someone.
anime studio if they want to do a Legend of Zelda or
Yeah.
a Mario anime? Do they just go third party and hire it on out?
I mean, for the Mario one, we already know they're working with I think they called Illumination, the guys from Gru, whatever.
Minions.
Minions,
From
yeah.
the Minions.
From what's it called, Despicable Me. So clearly, like I guess you can see them as the Fortnite of movies because they're really big on a childish like game like Fortnite. So they just probably went for the best option they could find for an animated movie. So they're probably gonna do the same with other movies. But then, yeah.
Sorry, go on.
Well, but then again, I also really doubt they're gonna do live action because they've only been talking about actually expanding into animation, and they haven't said anything about live action. So I don't know. I doubt it. But go ahead, Paco. You want to say something?
I was going to say, and when you're talking about the guys that did the Lego Movie and Minions and all of that, it makes perfect sense because it will do well worldwide. When we look at like animation, there's still a little bit of a stigma about that when people look at Japanese anime, and it just doesn't feel as universal, does it, as typical, like, let's say, Pixar or Disney animation, which Minions and that sort of follow. So it just makes sense to me to go with them. And Mario's not particularly anime in like
Not
his
at all.
art style. It's a little bit like, you know, you can still see its origins, but they made him a lot smoother, and it just feels not so 2D, should we say. You would expect this film to be a 3D animation, if that makes sense, over anime.
Well, it is. I'm pretty sure it is a 3D animation. The Mario movie.
Well,
Th-
that studio
what-
doesn't.
yeah.
That doesn't even do
Yeah,
2D,
let's say.
so.
That's what they're hiring animation because they only made 3D animations, and they're pretty much like pretty sure kind of like top of the game if you don't look at Disney movies. You know, Disney and Nintendo, I don't know if they wanna work with them because they're both big companies and they probably see each other as rivals. Because of Mickey Mouse and Mario and that whole situation, but no, it's still cool to see and know that there's more coming in the future, more hype moments. Speaking of hype moments, by the way, as well, dude, the Mario Party online, it finally happened. After 2-3 years, I don't know how long it's been, but it's been a while.
It had online, but
Yeah.
do you want to explain what the online and why this is so big to you? Because I know you're a big
Okay.
Mario Party fan, you know?
Yeah, well, of course, Mario Party is always a good game if you actually have people to play it with. So luckily, I have a pretty big household here, so I bought it mostly to play couch co-op. But then I think it was with Bonnie that like you would have bought it if it actually good online. I don't know.
Yeah,
if it
I would
actually
have
was
bought
one.
it.
Yeah. So like, imagine how cool it is to play a board game like Mario Party online. Like now, of course, we have a game on Steam. But Mario Party is kind of like Mario Party. It's not the same feeling, you know. It's not the same
it's
guys.
Not, it's not the same.
Like the mini games are good, but they're not as smooth as like Nintendo is good at making games, as you know. They're, I guess some would say the king of making games, which is probably also the only good thing they're actually good at, because some other things, PR stuff, whatever, not that good. So of course they released a new Mario Party, everyone was hyped, dude, and then they said there was some online features. They're like, whoa, okay, online features, sicko mode. Then the only online mode there was I think it was Gauntlet mode, which was 5 maps, randomized maps, mini games that you could play against other random people or a friend. But the problem was there were only like 10 different mini games possible in that game mode. So you have 70 game modes, but you can only play 10 of them in a row, which is not the way you want to play Mario Party. When you play Mario Party, you want to play the board game, or maybe just mini games, but you want to choose when you want to play. So now finally, after 2 years, you can play board game mode with a friend. Multiple friends, actually.
Which,
Sick.
so from the outside, this should have been something that was there from the beginning. Well, isn't
Yeah.
it? Realistically, when you're in this day and age, when online gaming is just the norm, it always feels like Nintendo's a little bit behind. We always complain about the servers anyway, but when it comes to online. But I've got to say, one thing you've got to love about Nintendo is that they will go back to a game that's, 2 years old now?
Yeah, I think
And
it's been 2 years.
Finish it off, which feels like dedication to the fans, at least, doesn't it?
Yeah, or a money grab. I mean, you can see both ways, I guess.
But how's it a money grab?
Well,
They
yeah.
could just put
I don't
out...
know. Maybe the next one is already, it's in the works. Maybe almost ready. We don't know.
Yeah.
But and they're just like, let's add online. We have the code for it now. Might as well just add it to the old one. Maybe grab some extra money
Yeah.
for the project of the new Mario Party. Yeah, you never know. But yeah, maybe it's also could be dedication to the people who still play it. But
So, not money grab so much, but I think they could use it as practice to write the code in for it, right? So they just use, updating the old game, learn how to code efficiently, because they've got those new servers as well. I don't know if it's on those new... Well, I mean, everything's on those new servers, but whether the netcode's written to utilize them. But they could just be doing it to learn how to code Mario Party Online, because it's got to require super low latency. But that
there
could
are
be a
few
good
problems.
use, because I reckon we're
Yeah.
probably a year out at most from another Mario Party. I'll agree with that through and through.
Well, yeah, this update did make people believe that maybe Mario Party is further away than we initially thought. Because why would you release online if you're gonna release a new Mario Party in half a year, or 4 months? Doesn't make sense, because then you just, like they do with Mario Kart, they're probably still not releasing one because they want to still selling like crazy. They want to get as many sales they can. So it's gonna take a while before they. Oh, another crashing Macron. He's doing great. So they want to get as many sales from that game until they move on. And when they probably see a drop in Mario Kart, which is not happening anytime soon, I think they won't release another one. But you are right with Mario Party probably trying to test how they're gonna do it, because this one right now still has a lot of issues I've heard. Like you have to restart the game if you invite someone. Like you can't just join someone when you're already in the game. You have to. There's actually a lot of, probably mostly with running people, crashes occur during your board game, which of course you don't want it to happen because it probably doesn't save halfway during the board game. I don't know if that's true, but I think the person I saw who said it, I think it said it didn't save his gameplay for the board game. So also a big flaw. And you apparently can't choose how many people you want to play with on one Switch. So, like if I would want to play with you two and invite someone else to play with me couch co-op, we couldn't be playing together because you can only have 2 people on each Switch, or everyone with 1 person on one Switch. So also a big flaw, I would say, for the online right now.
That just feels so odd. Sorry because I haven't played Mario Party, and he said it was the one on Wii U where you had Bowser as the 5th player.
Yeah,
it was very peculiar.
it was pretty
But
cool.
that just feels so why put limitations in the way? And it could just be however they've written it, but you look at that and go, who thought that was a good idea? That just feels so counterproductive to how you want to play. Because it can't take that much more effort to write the code. It could do, but because I'm not a programmer myself or anything. But yeah, it just feels so odd as a decision.
Well, like, of course, we didn't really know what's going on, but maybe they didn't think of it. It could also be something, like maybe they didn't think it would happen, which is still like a major thing to overlook, but it does happen. Like sometimes you just miss certain things that you think would make sense for a lot of people. Like if you look at Mario Kart 8, I'm pretty sure the Wii U didn't even have a mini-map when you were playing with your friends. Only the Wii U pad had a mini-map, It's just like a thing you would expect to be in every game of Mario Kart. Because you would want to see where you are on the map with other people. There you go. Another nice finish from my man Bacon.
Boy is leading, even with all those crashes.
Crashes happen, dude. Crashes happen. Oh, speaking of crash, by the way, dude, have you seen that on the mobile game they apparently brought back the Domino's mascot? There's like this really, From Domino's. There's like this really weird mascot, like a red guy with like really long ears. And apparently back in like the I think 90s or 2000s, he apparently was part of a Crash game, and now he's back, dude. He's apparently back in a Crash game. And I was like, wait,
Yo.
why is this guy back, dude?
That guy looks epic.
There it is, dude.
This reminds me so much of like Sonic characters where they threw like back during the 2D era, they threw in just like so many different, and then you would play a future game like, oh, this character's coming back, and it's like, who the hell are they? Like Sonic Heroes had Team Chaotix, I think it was, from like the Sonic 3D game, and as a kid I was just like, these are just some really weird out of place characters to have like a crocodile with the Sonic crew,
and the robot ride as well. So.
But that was like the 90s, weren't it? Just so many mascot characters.
Yeah, and they're back, dude.
Yeah, pretty much
Like-
every company had his own mascot.
I didn't even know of its existence. I was like, wait, what's this dude? Who's this guy? Then I was like, oh, this is so. Why is he back, dude? And then just some random Domino's mascot guy I've never heard of, but just back. And it's like some weird. I don't know how to explain it. It just looks like a weird random guy.
Just it's a guy in a bunny suit. You could say that, but the ears are like way longer, and he's fully red.
He's fully red.
And
Well,
that's it.
I mean, he's not red himself. He's like wearing a red suit, right?
yeah, he's wearing a red suit.
Yeah. I don't really know what it does have to do with Domino's, but I guess it's their mascot. If they want it, good for them.
So I can remember definitely back during the 90s and that or early 2000s, you could get, especially with the PS1, like game demo discs from, I want to say it was Pizza Hut at one point. And I didn't own the PS1 until quite late. Like the PS2 was already out when I got PS1, but I can remember friends and that like clamoring for it, like trying to do their birthday party at Pizza Hut purely because then everyone could get the PS1 demos and they had stuff like Crash Team Racing. I was about to say Legend of Zelda for some reason. It's because we were talking about Metal Gear Solid was on there and all of that. And it was just like like Resident Evil. It was just like such a weird little demo disc.
It's cool though. Like you said, I feel like McDonald's as well was really cooler back in the day because you like an actual Nintendo 64 there, dude. You could play a Nintendo 64 game and a McDonald's, dude. Now you just have a slide. Like you would think in the future, dude, you would have stuff like the Switch there.
Yeah, don't
We
Really
never
nice,
had any of those McDonald's with the
you
playgrounds and that near
Oh.
us. No.
Oh.
We had one which was on a park. So
Okay, thanks.
you could, and like had a lake in the center and all of that. So you could go play at the playgrounds outside, but that wasn't part of McDonald's. So
I feel like a lake sounds dangerous near.
Oh,
kids.
it was like one of the best parks in the area, so it wasn't an issue. But I didn't know that was a thing to have like N64s and PlayStation ones inside of McDonald's.
Well, I mean, also the gifts are way. Well, at least maybe I'm biased, but I feel like they had way cooler gifts in like the Happy Meals than they have now. Because if you look back at like the Nintendo crossover with McDonald's, and then they have like a whole Nintendo set, and then you have a really shitty plastic Luigi for Luigi Mansion, a really shitty Mario plastic sticker. Like, what is this? Like, if you go back, dude, you're like robotic dogs, dude. Those were the days, dude.
Oh, the iDogs or whatever.
Yeah,
when
dude, they played music.
They had little mini ones, yeah.
Yeah, that was sick, dude. But now they have this. I mean, same with the Kinderex, dude, as well. They just downgraded every gift in like those things for some reason. And it's sad to see.
It's just got to be cost effectiveness, right? Where
probably,
they just can't spend that much. And there's one thing which I find crazy, just because during the whole Corona, Pokemon cards really popped off, didn't they? But McDonald's limited edition Pokemon cards, which they do every few years, are incredibly expensive. And it just seems so strange.
Probably scalpers again, dude. They're like, oh man, rare cards, I better get in there real quick and sell them for a really high price.
Maybe.
Well, I mean, it wasn't before, because at the beginning when those cards just got released by McDonald's, pretty much everyone just sprinted to its McDonald's, just bought the entire box of cards. Like they added that later where you could just get one. When it just got released, that's why it was a big blowout. Everyone just sprinted to its McDonald's and were all like, okay, so how much for the entire box?
Oh, that's so cringe though.
I don't think people went in to buy the boxes, but it'd be like that. No, through the back door transfer. You know,
yeah. I mean, that's what you mean. But still, that's a bit crazy.
But still,
you can walk up to the counter and be like, "I want to buy some Pokemon cards."
Well, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if people just didn't know how to do it and just went in there and they're like, "Do you also sell them separately? Can I just buy the box that it got in?" You know, I wouldn't be surprised if someone did it.
For sure, of course it did it. Like, movie probably did it. And similar to the Sanchez sauce, right? Rick and Morty, which was part of McDonald's. Whatever, crazy. I want my Sanchez sauce! Well, I mean, you watch Rick and Morty, dude. There's like this whole episode where they had special Rick and Morty sauce.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
I remember the
Szechuan
black
sauce.
Burger King burger where people complained because they basically dyed like the buns black and all of that. You remember that one?
With cool? Question mark?
I can't remember where it was with,
No.
but it was like a Halloween thing.
No, I don't remember one.
Cool.
Dude, it's weird that this guy remembers that one, but he doesn't remember the big one with Rick and Morty. Dude. There was a guy on the counter screaming for Szechuan sauce, and then you read as well.
Oh, the Szechuan sauce! Okay,
Yeah,
right.
Szechuan sauce.
Not
that
Rick
got
and
released
Morty
with the
sauce. That's what,
Pocahontas or
okay, right. I
something.
get you
Well,
now. Yep, yeah, I remember
it
that
was
one.
it was because of I'm pretty sure Rick and Morty something, right? Because Rick and Morty made it exploded with their.
There was a thing back in
season.
the 90s or something like that, and they
It
just
got released
brought
with
it out as
Pocahontas, right? Something like that.
And then, of
And,
course, Rick and Morty talked about it in their, I think it was like season. The first episode was in a season. Then one was like, "Oh, funny meme, Szechuan sauce is good." And then they released it. And then, of course, people went there. And then McDonald's didn't have enough because they didn't expect people actually go crazy for it. And then was a
Do you
weird
think that was planned
period.
ahead of time? Like they went,
Right,
we want to
did
do
they actually
this.
have some?
Yeah,
Or
yeah, they had
was
some,
it
but
just
they
a
didn't
case
have-
of they put it in Rick and Morty as a joke, as like, you know, part of their thing? Because
No,
those
no,
guys
I'm
have a
pretty
very
sure-
unique style of humor, don't they? So they could have just
Yeah,
put that,
but-
and then McDonald's like, oh, they've released this, we should put it out, and like they can
No,
turn
no,
things
I think-
around pretty quick. They're a
But
big
the
enough
thing
company.
is, I'm pretty sure they didn't even release it.
They
McDonald's
did,
didn't
I'm pretty
release
sure.
the sauce. I'm pretty sure everyone bought it on eBay because people had like the entire big boxes, like from back in the 90s. They had like big tanks just filled up with that sauce, and people sold that.
Might do some research here. dude,
We
some
might
live
have to do some
research.
some
Some live
You know,
research.
go on. I'll go on the research.
Okay,
The
you go
research
on the Szechuan sauce. Check on later. Or maybe we'll put a timestamp on the answer. Probably
I've
not.
seen people do stuff like that with what's it, Crystal Pepsi or something. We didn't get that over in Europe, but it was like an American thing where it was just clear Pepsi, like how lemonade looks, which seems like such a weird idea to me.
Well, it's limited edition, dude. People love limited editions. I mean, I guess you can say the same would be with the whole 3D pack for Mario, which you're going back to gaming. Like, just because it's limited edition, people would buy it, you know? And like that's like the same thing with fear of missing out. Limited edition means fear of missing out, pretty much, because it's there for a limited amount of time. I mean, there's only a amount of copies of a certain thing. So, I mean, I guess they would also kind of remove that whole point about how they're purposely trying to make you buy a game, even though, once again, limited edition, dude. It's for everything. Limited editions just exist. I think it's the same with the Animal Crossing one. I'm not sure, but I remember being really rare to get in the first place. The Animal Crossing.
But just think
Switch.
of like collector's editions, right? When they launch a game, there's the whole reason why they make those. It seems silly, but well, how much does it make to make a Steelbook edition, let's say, where you spend 10 quid extra to get the Steelbook edition, which comes with that little special metal case and like generally posters and that sort of stuff? Probably like an extra couple of quid, but they charge you an extra tenner, so they're making more money from it, aren't they?
Yeah, and I guess if you think it's worth it, then go for it. Like the same with me. Like I bought a loot crate just because there was a Sea of Thieves statue in there for Flameheart, which is like the main villain of Sea of Thieves. And maybe some people would think it's crazy, but you know, I'm a fan of Sea of Thieves, so that's why I bought that loot crate just for that one statue, because I wanted to display it in my room, you know.
Is Loot
So-
Crate still around? I swear
it is,
they
dude.
closed down.
Not, dude.
No, that's still,
it's still around, dude.
rocking.
I mean, you weren't wrong. I'm pretty sure they had like there was something going on. I think they downscaled because I got an email from them when I had like a certain. I got another loot crate and it said it was taking a little bit longer because they had some problems financially. But then they gave me a gift card for €5 off their other store, dude. So I got a free alien plushie, dude.
Ooh.
And also a Minecraft redstone lamp, dude. So pretty epic. for the extra months of waiting, worth it to me.
All right, so I did some research.
Go
All right, it did get released.
Dick and release,
A
but
bit
we
of
don't have
extra.
But
But
it wasn't enough.
on. Sure,
it
they
wa-
started making it
only-
again for a
only-
little period.
Yeah, no, one day only.
Mhm.
And pretty much everyone was like, "Oh wow, we want it." And well, yeah, they didn't have enough because they didn't expect it to be this crazy. So there was a bit, and it was for the movie Mullen in 1988. That's the first time it got released.
1988. So
Yeah.
this has got to be a weird
did some
thing because the
research.
guys that make Rick and Morty are like late 40s, I want to say, and they're starting meme culture for Zoomers, or young kids who weren't even born, weren't even alive when this thing they're referring is about, but everyone's memeing about like Szechuan sauce and that because of Rick and Morty. That's a
'cause it's a
weird
popular show.
cultural divide, like not divide, but like a coming together.
I mean,
Huh?
there's also still talking about Rick and Morty. Maybe you heard of it as well. Is that if you didn't get the jokes, even though there was shit like dub dub, like that's just them trying to be funny, which is a stupid sentence, you know, dub dub. Then this guy was like, if you don't understand dub dub, you're not smart enough for this show. So then they're trying to gatekeep people not being smart enough for Rick and Morty humor. I'm like, wait, what are you on about, dude? It was clearly just a childish joke, a part of the show. And yeah, sometimes they do have like pretty hard to, pretty crazy episodes,
I watched
I
the
guess.
first 2 seasons. I can remember it was something like wubba lubba dub dub in some language means help, I'm in extreme pain or like emotional pain or something like that. And it like they must have only put it in there as like some kooky phrase because that works, like to get people to laugh, because
Yeah.
humor, right? You can actually write it and get people to laugh that way. There's a science behind it all and that. But then they also give a good reason for people then to appreciate it, look back, and they've actually well timed when he's used that catchphrase. So there is, like, Rick and Morty, yeah, is a smart show, but it's weird the fan base behind it and just how fan bases in general can work for, like, you know, hardcore fans of stuff like that.
No, but like, the thing I'm saying is that like I said, it's like just a stupid catchy catchphrase, but it doesn't mean it means something intelligent. So because some people said that you have to be intelligent to watch Rick and Morty, which is not true. It's just a show you can watch whenever you want.
Yeah, especially the
sometimes-
first 2 seasons. It wasn't just.
Yeah.
It was just brain dead. You could just watch it. You'd be like, ha ha ha, funny.
Yeah, but even now, like maybe the episode itself was pretty hard to understand because they use some expensive and crazy words that they probably also invented themselves. But like it doesn't mean you have to have a PhD to actually understand Rick and Morty. It's just not true. Because if it would be the case, then it would be as popular if only for smart people.
Exactly, yeah. And
Like I don't understand.
I refer to that type of like comedy, sort of like that sort of watching as like stoner humor, which it feels like the best way to enjoy it is to be stoned because you'll just giggle your ass off throughout the entirety of it. There's like that stereotype to it, if it makes sense. And like that has got to go completely against the intelligent factor, because if you're just going to be that sort of way enjoying that entertainment, then it's probably not incredibly highbrow.
You know,
Or
it's just dry
to it, of
humor.
course. Yeah.
Pretty much just dry humor, mainly because the creator of Rick and Morty was also one of the creators of Community, and that's also a
Yeah, dude.
big thing.
What it is now, but when it released it was Uberduction.
Yeah.
It is really poor, and now
It got bigger now.
I mean, like,
think
that also shows. Yeah.
Community was just a cult following because I watched it as it came out. I was
Yeah, but
quite
like-
a big fan of it, but
Yeah, that's called following.
it definitely had
small.
the good years and bad years, you know?
Well, I mean, it is really poor compared to other shows, but that kind of shows you the power of stuff like Netflix now, where they release all the shows. Now they get really popular. I believe also The Office, that also did really poor when released back then, but now it was like the most watched show on Netflix during 2020, during quarantine. So like it just shows the power of especially like new generations getting into older things like The Office and like Community. And people
Friends
are saying
is still absolutely massive on Netflix and that as well.
I'm sorry, not my thing.
same. I'm not a defense guy as well, but no, if you like it, you has a friends quiz every month
Yeah, true.
with the family, so go for it, dude. If you want to know more about Ross, do a little quiz, go for it.
Like, because there's so many different TV shows that people get massively behind, like take Breaking Bad or Seinfeld and all of that. and it is quite unique. I can remember the biggest one, which I think was conflicting to the modern era, was the Big Bang Theory, right? Where so many people absolutely adored it, but then so many people hated it because, the cringe humor they had at certain parts. And it's so weird how people can how people can get so passionate about a TV show. Seems so silly, but it's awesome in its own right.
I feel like you can just say How I Met Your Mother. Pretty much everyone liked How I Met Your Mother and the ending, and everyone was like, "Yo, what the heck? What is this shit?"
I mean, the last season was pretty cringy.
It was pretty cringe.
It was not a good take, but also the problem is with a lot of shows is one of course you need a good start. But probably the ending is also really important, because another example would be Lost, which was a really good show at the start. Then every season, because they didn't know how to end it, it just got weirder and weirder to a point where it didn't make sense. And then the ending, oh yeah, by the way, everyone was dead. Like, what's happening? This show makes no sense. And the same with How I Met Your Mother. It's like you need a good start, and then of course the show itself needs to be good. But the ending is also really important to your show. And the longer your show gets, it's like same I guess with Game of Thrones, but I also watched the ending last season, and probably gonna happen with Walking Dead. Like Walking Dead has been around for. I guess you can almost say it's about to be 12 seasons, because they're gonna make 2 seasons into one, season 11. But like that show could really easily also get a lot of backlash for the ending, because it's been around for 10 plus years. It's been a part of people's life for 10 years. So if the ending is not good enough, people are gonna be really mad about it. So also why
you can say Breaking Bad. Flopped. Breaking Bad pretty much like is a top tier show because it also had like a perfect ending. For everything.
And it also wasn't seasons long. Same with
they did take an extra year to bring it out, because there was the year gap, for the last season. So
but I mean, the last season is also like one of the best seasons.
I mean, it's not a bad thing when they take time for it. Like same with a game. I'd rather have them take their time for it to make it good, and instead of having a No Man's Sky or a Cyberpunk, because if you want something, you want it to be good the first time. Same with a show, because they usually only have one take to it, and then they already ruin it for you if it's bad enough, Like, so Breaking Bad has how many seasons? 4 seasons or something? 5 seasons. Yeah, see, like, I feel like that's a good format for a show, but shows like Seinfeld and Big Bang Theory, they go on for 10 plus seasons, and this is like, maybe
but they're sitcoms, so it's a bit different, when you've got Breaking Bad, which I think at most did 10 episodes in one season, there were like 7, 8 or so, like, they were hour-long episodes, Whereas Seinfeld and all of that is like 24 minutes normally, right? Somewhere like that. And then they put out 20 episodes a year. It's 20 episodes a season. So it's a big format change as well. And the type of consuming of it, because when you sit down for a Game of Thrones, for a Walking Dead, whatever, you're in there for like the long haul for that hour or so. Whereas sitcoms are lighter viewing, aren't they?
I mean, you're probably also on your phone during an episode, because not all of them are good, as probably knows from the last few episodes we watched on Walking Dead.
Yeah,
I mean, same like those long shows. When it just takes so long with the show to actually finish, a lot of people just stop at some point, just because the same thing over and over again is not fun. So also why Walking Dead like lost a lot of viewers on like season 5 or something.
Yeah, season 7.
The prison
bit.
Negan. That's where I dropped
Negan
off.
arrived.
Yeah, but I mean, it just looks like it's going on forever, which is also like a big reason that people probably stop watching something. And I can't blame them, because I've also watched a lot of shows where I'm like, midway, I'm like, I'm kind of done with this show, dude, and then you forget about it, and then you go back to it later on. Like for me, a good example would be Curb Your Enthusiasm, because it's also like hour-long episodes usually. And they're pretty much always the same. Like, it's pretty much the same thing, but it's just a different 18 plus joke or something offensive, like as a joke, But it's pretty much the same thing you watch over and over again, so you get bored of it after some time.
I think as well with Walking Dead, where it's such a dark and grim setting as such, like it's not positive. It can be quite draining to watch, if that makes sense. So whilst it's good viewing, I'm sure, it can be quite harsh when what's coming up is always going to be something, I don't want to say negative, but who's going to die next, or that sort of feeling, or what's the next tragedy, what's the next terror, which has got to be draining for some people. And I'm definitely one of those type of people that's like, try and surround yourself with positivity, and I think that's what really made me drop off, was that it just all went to shit, and I was like, I don't want to watch this. it's fine once or twice, the one death a season where something bad happens, but I want to see these people succeed instead of like, it feels like they're trying to crawl through mud continuously, if that makes sense, which I don't know, it was just not enjoyable, and everyone's different, but that was me personally.
I mean, I was about to say, for me, it is fun because anyone can die at any point. That's why I think it's fun, because even if you have like favorite character, people that come to mind is like Rick Grimes or Daryl Dixon, it doesn't mean just because they're popular or people love them that they're safe for the series. Like, I think it's fun that people can actually die no matter their status, because of a lot of movies and such. You always have this one person that's like the chosen one that can die, can't fail, whatever.
They've got the plot armor, that's it,
Yeah.
So,
I was about to say plot armor.
Yeah, so I think it's better when it's a little bit more realistic, where anyone can die at any point. That's just my opinion. Like I said, a lot of people get mad when someone died and then they start watching the show because that was the only reason they were watching it, is that one character. If you want to do it, go for it. But I like the tense moments.
For me, it went downhill when the guns were out. I don't know why. It's weird that the guns made this bit of a difference for me, but as soon as they didn't have guns anymore, it just completely changed the show. That point, I remember it was just
season
big
10.
gunfights. I think it was like season, after they defeated Negan.
Yeah,
pretty
so
much that's from that
10,
point. Maybe 8, 9 mid, and that's when it completely went downhill for me. So I guess Bacon pretty much, after the 5-year jump.
Yeah, but like, did you not think season 10 was a good season then? Because season 10 was a pretty good season compared to.
It was alright, but I
seasons.
definitely, but I wouldn't say I enjoyed it as much as previous seasons.
Well, I also feel like we're at a point, because like it's been 10 plus years, and like I said, it's like a 5-year time jump, that there's so many characters now, and you just stop caring about the characters. There's like a certain character, Yukimo, whatever it was, dude, and she's been in the show for like 3 seasons, and this is the first time what her name was, dude. We were like, wait, her name is Yukimo? That's her name? Like, there's so many characters, and you don't care about them, and every time, like, because you have to, like, the time about a story, but usually instead we're just memeing, because Bunny and I watch together, so we're just memeing about other stuff, and then I think it was pretty recently, but we just like, oh wait, we just missed half of the episode.
Yeah, we did. We were just talking about something, and then we were like, oh, well,
we missed all of it.
What the fuck just happened? It got really dark, and we were like, oh, well, okay, maybe we should head back a bit.
Yeah. So that kind of shows how story development with a lot of characters also ruins the immersion. I mean, it's probably why a lot of movies and games and stuff probably have like a small cast you can feel sympathy for and live with. Like How I Met Your Mother would be a good example, because you have like the main 6, right? That you or main 5, whatever it was.
I want to say 6, but I can't remember. I'm trying to remember. Ted, Marshall,
I think it's
Liddy,
5.
Yeah, it's
Robin.
5.
Yeah, 5.
Yeah, 5.
And
right.
Bonnie! Dude, Bonnie would not survive in this day and age if they release How I Met Your Mother.
No, that would be cancelled or something.
Yeah, for sure. Season 2
I wouldn't be
cancelled.
cancelled because the guy who plays him is gay. So that
No, but like
evens
the
it
show
out.
would be cancelled. No, the show would be cancelled for sure.
The show be
Or
cancelled.
it would just get hated on Twitter and all of that sort of stuff.
Yeah, for sure. It gets some bad rap nowadays.
Which is crazy, because it's only 8 years on, I want to say?
Yeah.
Something like that.
I mean,
For some reason, off the top of my head, I want to say
26,
2013 it ended, 2014 maybe?
Yeah. So I think 2013. It is crazy, dude. So much change in 10 years. Maybe even less than 10 years.
But you say that with how it ended badly. I thought How I Met Your Mother ended fine, because it's hard to wrap up a show. Like, it always feels like the last season is always the worst seasons, because you make a show with the idea, especially with sitcoms, that it's just going to continue forever, and then you're hit with the sudden, okay, we've got to wrap up every loose end in one season, and then we gotta be done. We're on time constraints, because largely it feels like it ends because the actors that are part of the cast are getting bigger roles and all of that, moving from TV to film and all that sort of jazz.
That's a bit of a yikes for Ted, though, because he never got anything big after How I Met Your Mother.
I want to say Marshall got some bigger stuff
as well.
Yeah.
Liddy went on to
and
more
Robin,
presenting.
definitely Robin. She went to MCU.
Yeah.
I think only Robin, because Bonnie was already a big actor at that point.
Yeah.
Whatever his name is, Patrick Harris or something.
Yeah.
That guy, he got pretty big beforehand as well. So
Kobe
But
Schmooders.
He was the
But-
big
but
name
like-
to come into it,
Yeah,
as it
yeah.
was, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But
It was so weird to me when I realized he was gay, dude. Like, wait, he's gay, dude? Because in the show, he's like anything but gay, as you know. But like when I knew, it's like, wait, that guy is gay. It's so funny to me. It's
But
kinda
I find it
ironic.
funny because it's almost like he played a straight guy, as if you take it back to the early noughties, sorry, how gay people would be played like so over the top and flamboyant.
Yeah.
This felt like the same, but for a straight guy, where he's so over the top, straight, and just you know a hound dog in that sort of sense. So it's quite funny, and there's always that interesting part, and you've got to love sitcoms for it, where you can sort of take how culture plays out at that time. Like looking back to Friends, looking back to Scrubs as well. I adored Scrubs growing up, and
up to watching
that's
No
another
Spoilers?
one which ended well, and then they just for some reason kept
Hey,
going
no
on.
spoilers. I'm still watching. I'm still watching Scrubs. I'm only in season 6. You gotta relax a little quick.
All right, I won't
Relax,
spoil
dude.
for you then. Sorry.
I'm about to say it. You need to chill. Like, I don't know about how much more, but it doesn't feel like a complete sitcom to me. It also feels like a lot of drama in that show.
Mm.
And I can't speak of Friends because I never watched Friends. But like Seinfeld, there's no character development at all. Like Seinfeld is always the same people never learning from their mistakes. So that's probably why the season finale actually made sense.
Mm.
Because it fitted with the personalities. Like they never learned from their mistakes, so then they got punished for their mistakes. And Seinfeld also got a really bad review for their ending, but I feel like it was pretty good. Because, you know, if you're being a dickhead, you get punished for it. It happened to them.
And could that possibly be that shows that have such a so critically acclaimed, you know, those 9 out of 10, 10 out of 10 shows, their endings are just, I don't want to say panned so much more, but that's because people are expecting a big explosive end, and it's going to be anticlimactic. How do you finish off? You know, how can you put the icing on the cake when you've got the most incredible cake that people are wanting to consume, and the icing just can't live up?
Well, that's why I feel like Breaking Bad is still like one of the best shows ever, because that ending, it was everything just worked.
Mm.
Like I won't spoil anything,
Yeah,
but
no
like
spoilers.
everything in there, it was just, it all led up to that moment, and it was just, yeah, it was great.
I mean, it's also a big factor because if there are a lot of fans that are adoring the show, they all want the show to end differently. So if it's a show where everything makes sense at the end and actually ties in together, and it just has like an actual end, like it doesn't go on from there. But like if a show like How I Met Your Mother, the ending doesn't actually end, you know. So people could be mad about that they want to end it differently because they rather would have seen something else. And if it's
Yeah.
an ending where the show's like it's completely like the story just done because all the characters, whatever. I don't know what happens in Breaking Bad. I never watched it myself, but like I feel like that's probably also why I would get a better ending.
Yeah, but it's just like How I Met Your Mother was pretty much, I feel like they got halfway through the last season, they pretty much just got the, hey, we gotta wrap it up this season. Because when you look at it, the entire season was based on Barney and Robin.
Yeah.
And then at the end, it was just like, oh, okay.
Yeah, it's even weird because this whole season you're working towards it, and it's also weird because the whole season is literally 2 days, I think, or 1 day even. So
Yeah.
then also it's like a bit weird, and then it just ends with, no, it's over. It's over. Here you go. Like, oh, okay.
Hey, this is it. Take it or leave it.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't know what you're gonna do with it.
And the main thing, How Much Your Mother, it barely gets in the last season, and then at the end, you know, you're the mother, and then something happens with her as well. Like, oh, okay, this is weird.
So off the
these,
back of
these
that,
9 seasons.
I'd say Breaking Bad did it well because it made sense, and you could see they
Yeah.
had that idea of how it'd finish up. Maybe they didn't have all the, you know, all the pieces and how they connect to each other perfectly, but they knew they would
Yeah.
finish it on the 5th season. Like, they knew that was going to be where it wraps up, and then because they did the film for Netflix as well, didn't they? And they went on to
but
Better Call Saul. They knew the franchise
Got them
would
out.
finish, but that story of Walter White would. And that was all. It felt like that was always going to be the plan, which you don't see with other shows.
Oh,
Yeah, you got Better
can
Call
tell.
Saul was the first one to come, and then they put out the El Camino or something.
El Camino,
You know, yeah, the one with Jesse in it. But there were a lot of people who were like, you know, you don't really have to watch the movie. It's alright. You just let it end how it ends.
Yeah.
It doesn't really add anything.
Well, but if you want to watch it. I
Yeah,
guess,
of course.
like-
I watched it. It was fun to, you know, get into the spirit again after all these years. But it was like I wasn't like, okay, well,
It just felt
this
like a
just
longer episode.
closed it. This just fully closed it for me. I was like, it
okay.
already was fully closed.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's better as long as it like the same after, right? They're gonna do a reboot. Like, I think it would be better if they didn't work on the whole Aang story again, but do something new. Because I feel like if you're gonna work something you worked on in the past, there's a big chance you're gonna ruin what people envisioned back then.
I don't think it's like a full reboot though. I wouldn't be surprised if they did some comics that they always wanted to do in like book 4 with Fire because they never did that. I wouldn't be surprised if they just fully animate that comic.
Yeah, I mean that's fine. Like I feel like it's better to still be in his world, but not work with some characters because there's a big chance you're actually gonna ruin the characters
pretty much
again.
just as Korra, just do the same concept but just with a different avatar.
And they've shown, like, I can't, when you're looking at Avatar, like, how many there were beforehand. There was, 100 or so?
Yeah. Shit ton.
It's not really defined perfectly well, is it? But you just see, like, the whole stream of them previously as, like, a spirit sequence. You could just pick out one of those because the technology, which I think is going to be the biggest issue of it, like with Korra, you see how they jump into like the industrial era compared. So if you went back, I think that would work a lot better instead of trying to go for the one after Korra.
Yeah. Definitely.
Dude, we went from Bonnie's movie segment to Bonnie's series segment.
Yeah, we're getting a lot of it's great. This is where I shine. We talk about movies and series. Yeah, dude, I'm all there for it.
I mean, to be honest, movies, series, and gaming, and gymming, of course.
And gymming, of course.
So, what series are you watching right now, then, Bunny? Like, what is Bunny's recommendation of what he's currently
at the moment? But at the moment it's pretty dead. I'll be completely honest. There's some good shows on Disney Plus, like the new Marvel shows. The Winter Soldier and Falcon was really good. WandaVision was alright, but
just alright.
No, it was great, but
okay.
I don't know. I like the Winter Soldier and Falcon more.
So those two are weird because I'm not going to talk about Winter Soldier and Falcon because I haven't watched it, but a lot of people said it feels like it's a setup season rather than
but it is.
Yeah,
but it is a setup season because it just gives you more content for the people to develop them a bit more before the big movies are coming out, because WandaVision is pretty much for the new Doctor Strange movie, and then Falcon is just, I feel like that's actually already main event, like that's for the next movie.
Yeah, no, but I mean like future seasons of the shows.
Yeah, I don't know if they do like future seasons though, because I wouldn't be surprised if WandaVision might get a second season, but I feel like the Winter Soldier and Falcon might actually it was just like, here, take it. It was, this is just between the movies. Develops a bit of a story that you're not going to be like, oh, what the heck just happened here?
Well, it could make sense because it would like maybe a cool cliffhanger before the movie. We're like, no way! And then
that happened with WandaVision. Like they did the big cliffhanger, and they were like, "Oh, you're definitely gonna see her in the new Doctor Strange."
Don't say, because I haven't finished watching either.
No, but like that's
it jumps in the fight
before the movie.
And of course, a lot of people at home, because these are still relatively new topics, I get.
But this is known. This was before the series was even like put out. WandaVision was going to be in the new Doctor Strange.
Yeah, of course. Like, you sort of expect them all to be mingling in each other's films by now, don't you? At the very
pretty
least.
much.
Like, even if it's just a small cameo.
Yeah,
especially with the MCU.
Exactly. Have that movie, dude.
WandaVision, I've watched, I want to say the first 2 episodes. And
it's hard to get back to. Yeah, I know.
He's like a
episode 3, that's where it all just went up, because I quit. I didn't watch till episode 5. I was like, I watched the first 2. No, actually the first one. I was like, well, if this is gonna be it, the entire season, I'll just skip this and watch a nice thingy on YouTube and be like, oh wow, okay, so that's what happened in the series. But yeah, it got way better after episode 3.
Yeah, others have told me that, and that's my only problem though, is that a show shouldn't feel, because it was horrid. Like, it just felt very out of place.
It was really bad
because of how what they were trying to represent, because they go through like eras of sitcoms, don't they? Like
but you'll understand eventually why episode 1 and 2 had to happen. But like for me also, I watched it, I was like, wow, this is really bad. I'm definitely not gonna watch this.
I mean, the good thing for them is they can afford to do it because they have such a big name to them already.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
they can afford to test out of this stuff. Like, if it was like a new series, it would be.
Yeah, and
probably
after
already
all the plot
dropped.
twists, pretty much everyone was like, "What the fuck? Holy shit! I gotta get back to it."
Ooh.
Well, I mean, off the back of it, just talk about Mandalorian, and how I feel that's been the best product for Star Wars in the whole since Disney's taken it over.
Yes.
And-
There's nothing. Yeah, the rest was pretty much all trash.
I mean, I'm pretty sure Disney agrees as well. So.
Yeah. I feel like reviews-wide, they will also agree that Mandalorian was the only good thing they ever released so far.
I mean, that's why off the back they've got Obi-Wan and Boba Fett stories coming out this year.
Yeah, it's also
Because the Obi-Wan was meant to be a film, and then they binned that and brought it back. And I want to say the same with Boba Fett. Like, they were always planned to be offshoots, but I think they were planned as films, like how the Han Solo film was brought out, and they've just
Wait,
realized that.
wasn't that also Disney? Because that was also right.
Yeah.
Rogue One and
Dude, to be honest,
Rogue One was
I did-
good. Han
Yeah, I
Solo
did
was
Rogue
only okay. It felt out
And I
of
just
place.
realized the first three, 1, 2, 3 is also Disney, and 3 is one of my
That's
favorite
one,
Star Wars
European.
movie.
Wait, what do you mean by 1, 2, 3?
Well, just 1, 2, 3,
yeah.
the movies,
The prequels.
the prequels.
The prequels were still LucasArts. They weren't Disney. Pretty sure.
Oh, you
Life's a
sure?
lie.
I'm pretty
Life's a
sure
lie.
1, 2, 3 were already like Disney owned because I remember all the
No.
Lego shit that also got released.
No. Disney bought out after that.
Ah, okay.
Oh no, dude, he was a Star Wars guy, dude.
I was a Star Wars.
What are you doing?
I'm not the franchise guy.
well, the Star Wars guy would know this stuff, dude.
Fair enough.
You gotta think they bought Marvel before they bought Disney. Sorry, Disney bought Marvel before they bought Star Wars or Lucasfilm.
Yeah.
Because you
Disney
think at the
buys
same
everything,
time, Disney now own Indiana Jones as well. They bought the whole of Lucasfilm. So that's another thing that's coming as well. We've got another Indiana Jones coming. Is it next year?
I don't know.
It's gonna be cool.
But Bunny probably knows. He's the movie series guy, right?
No, I actually don't watch a lot of
Indiana
Indiana Jones.
In Biyama.
So what?
Oh,
you
man.
a sci-fi guy then? Is that it?
Oh yeah,
no,
for sure.
I like that. I watch it, but
Bro, you for sure a sci-fi guy, dude.
I don't know. I just watch every sci-fi, but I also watch pretty much every movie next to that.
You watch every sci-fi except for the what's it
Star
called?
Trek?
Star Trek, yeah.
Yeah, I
you know
don't like Star Trek. I don't know
For some
why.
reason.
No, I agree. I don't like Star Trek as well. I get it.
Neither do
I
I.
understand why people like it, but it's not for me. It's
Oh,
like
again, I did some research. It
Yeah.
was owned by Disney.
Oh, the Star Wars
during
guy
that
strikes
period?
back.
Wow.
The Empire
Yeah,
Strikes Back. Star Wars
When
guy
did
strikes
Disney
back.
buy
Yeah.
them then?
I don't know, but I just looked it up, and it was financed by Disney, Philly. So
Oh man.
I feel like Disney already had their little claws into Star Wars at that time.
Already
Put
doing
your
the
spot,
spider
dude.
web is what it feels like, and you're right, claws, yes. Disney's weird at the moment. With
Disney's
how they
scary,
bind
dude.
Stuff up.
Disney
Yeah.
is very scary because I looked at a picture that got released like a couple of months ago. I was like, holy shit! I didn't even realize they had this much. They even have the weirdest shit that you wouldn't even expect. That's Disney, like
Yeah.
National Geographic. I didn't expect that.
Yep.
Well, I did because it's Disney Plus.
Don't they
so-
have Fox and all of
That's
that as
the
well?
reason I knew.
Which is the weird
Yeah,
one.
they just
Like,
they
so
just actually
Disney
bought that.
owns Simpsons.
Yeah, they actually do. But that's like new, a bit new.
Yeah, it's like the whole
They
Star
bought it like
situation.
2 years ago or something like that, yeah.
Yeah,
I
mean,
wouldn't be
it's scary.
surprised if Disney in the next 2 years like just does a big one and buys Netflix or something, you know. They've got the money to be able to afford that.
Yeah, to be down.
And
for
that
this.
would just like give
Yeah,
them
yeah,
the
yeah.
monopoly they want.
I mean, wouldn't be surprised.
yeah. I wouldn't be
Like,
surprised
the
either,
thing
but-
is, like, the moment like Disney is already pretty big, but if they get bigger, then the moment they have no competition, they can do whatever they want, and it just like it's the same with like the reason why we're kind of lucky with the whole trinity with Xbox, PlayStation, and Nintendo is because they push each other to do better the whole time. Because you need rivalry to improve. The moment they are the big boys and there's no one else to compete with them, they can do whatever shit they want, and we can't really do much about it. Like,
That's it, because
maybe
it
you're
used to
right,
be
but-
with what Disney, Pixar, and the DreamWorks films were always in
Yeah,
competition,
yeah.
but now nothing's there for everything to compete with Disney. They just have too much of that, and
Yeah.
I feel they just want to be show-offy, And that's
Yeah, they're
why
just
stuff
like,
like
oh,
Star
wow.
Wars has flopped. Well, not flopped, because they've still sold well, but just like the story's been left behind because they just want big cinematic pieces to show off.
Yeah, I
like-
mean, the sequels were just trash. Like, yeah. They shouldn't have done those. Like, just left it there. It was alright, you know?
At least it went 4D though. It was epic. Cool experience.
Yeah, that was,
Watching
well,
it
you had a good experience, I guess, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was a good thing about it. Watching the 4D, dude. Sick. That's only good thing, dude.
So my biggest problem with sequels is that they're too reliant on the main films, if that makes sense.
No, there wasn't I feel like there wasn't a story. Like, you got the first one, you got J.J. Abrams. He's like, okay, I have a plan for this, I have a plan for this. Second one, they not fired him, but they were like, you know, we'll get a different director. Different director be like, you know what?
Great.
I have a completely different story in my mind.
I have my own vision.
I have my own vision. Does something completely different. You're like, oh, well, okay. Story just completely changed. Who cares? And then the third one, they're like, all right, J.J. Abrams, he did really shit, so you gotta come back and fix it a bit.
Well, yeah, didn't
Damage
they
control.
hire him like mid-film as
Clusterfuck.
well to come back and fix it? So
Damage control.
most of it was already done. They're just, damage control on it. Which...
And then they were like,
Yeah, I mean-
okay, we gotta need something big. We bring him back. Palpatine, he did survive that after all.
I mean, spoiler by the way.
yeah.
No, it was in the
Sorry,
it was in the
guys.
trailer.
I mean, then again, who cares, dude? Star Wars movie anyways, but like, it's also a situation where suddenly it was a ghost. I'm like, wait, what? Why is he a ghost? What happened to him, dude? Like, maybe it makes sense later on, but I stopped watching after I think the 8th one. I didn't watch the new one. Like, it just seems weird that he suddenly got the power to be a ghost, and how Rey is already fully, almost fully
Like a Jedi Master, yeah.
no,
like-
but
like- like once
indeed,
again-
what you said, yeah. Like Luke
Yeah.
Luke completely changed.
I mean,
So-
everyone, it's just weird because we talked about it before in a podcast, the Super Mario one. We talk about female representation, and it just seems like another one where they just push females to be perfect, because like Luke also wasn't perfect when he was a Jedi. So instead of like making an interesting character, they made her this holy person that can instantly become a Jedi, and that's just not something you want to relate with. Like, it kind of ruined the whole flow.
It's just not character development. That's it.
No.
They did character development of the other characters, but not really Rey. Rey was just a tool to give character development to everyone else. Like,
Empty shell.
one of the things you can already see. They later released that Finn, the guy, you know, the stormtrooper guy. He was supposed to be a Jedi. He was supposed to be the one who was force sensitive. Rey also, but like he was gonna be force sensitive. But they were like, you know what? We'll just cut that out. You know, even though we just at the beginning of the movie we pretty much just made it look like Kylo Ren was like, what the fuck is wrong with that guy? You know? But no, they just completely cut that. They were like, yeah, nah, never mind. We're not doing that.
It's just stupid. I mean, a good example of like when you can tell when someone has to take over damage control is like The Hobbit as well, because it also used to have a different director, and then midway through the development he just quit. Then Peter Jackson had to step in, and he had different plans, and compared to Lord of the Rings, it's not just as good. I mean, the story itself is also not like same level, but still, you can tell that they stepped in and just randomly changed a few things of the story.
Yeah.
I mean, like the story is good, and like there's no need to change the story because the story is good in itself. That's why it's popular in the first place, right? Like, maybe it's gonna be hard to film it into a fun movie, but like there's no need. A lot of films, also Narnia, where they just have these really long battle sequences because, fighting is cool, even though you're there for the story if you watch those movies.
Yeah. Well, yeah, a big thing is the Zack Snyder cut from Justice League. The first Justice League got, he had something with his daughter who got cancer and she died, so he had to leave mid movie. We had like really big plans for Justice League, like to set a lot of things up.
Yeah.
But he had to leave, so they got a different director. He completely changed it. Like he cut out legit 2 hours of the movie, and they were like, "All right, we'll just release this." It was trash. And then this year they released the Zack Snyder cut, and everyone was like, "If you would have released this, everyone would be looking forward to like DC movies," because it was an extra. It was. I'll be completely honest. I didn't expect much from it. I was like, we'll see. But it was a completely different movie.
Is it worth watching as well?
Yeah,
Because
yes.
I'm part of that demographic where I'm there going like, I'm just going to watch the
it's
same
actually
film
worth-
again. But
No, it was
I'll give
like
it-
legit. Everyone who said it, it was like it's nothing compared to the first one.
So I thought it was just more like color grading and all of that, because that he went
changes
over
that.
and did a lot of like reworking on the visual effects now, didn't they? So
Yeah, they did. He had a vision that he wanted it like in the 16 9 thingy, and like a
Right.
different color. Yeah, but it's just a completely different movie. Like you have scenes that the original movie cut something out, and here it adds the original thing back, and it's just a completely different scene. It actually makes sense now. The characters have a lot more development. There's a shit ton of more flash scenes, and the robot guy, I always forget his name. But like, there's so
Cyborg,
much
yeah.
more. Yeah, Cyborg. Like,
C-3PO.
it's just a completely different movie. I watched it. I was like, well, okay. I would actually be looking forward to a second one now, but it's never coming there.
And it's because they just shot themselves in the foot because they weren't
Yeah,
ready
they
to
definitely
hold off.
did. They definitely did.
So
I mean,
we
that's
sort
a
of
bad
like back, like you said before, when we were talking about honesty within films, too, and we are just talking about characters, but I feel it's got to be the same within these studios where taking that Nintendo mentality of a rushed game is never going to be a good game, or it could be, but it's going to take the time to fix it afterwards.
Yeah.
Whereas you could just fix it before releasing or actually finish it, and that's going to be the better product. And I think films need to take that approach as well. You know, as evidenced by Bunny being so big towards the Zack Snyder cut, and a lot of other people, because people have been hyping it up a bit.
I mean, it's just a life works, right? Like, you only really have one shot when you do something. Because your first experience or someone experiences you is also the way they're gonna look at you in the future. So, like, your first impressions should always be good. Same with movies, same with games. Cyberpunk, I heard it's a little bit fixed now, but still, a lot of people probably don't want to play it again because they had a bad taste in their mouth from the first time.
Yeah, it's getting better. They're actually, if I look at my Steam always, I see them actually updating. They're doing a lot. They're trying to get it back, you know. To
Yeah, I mean, of
actually
course,
being
and that's a
fixed.
good thing. That's a good thing. But still, like I said, first impression is also the most important one. So, I mean, especially back in the day, of course, when the show sucked, it's off the radar. And now, because of the whole streaming service, they're getting a second chance, and now they're actually performing well. So it just shows how kind of important it is, especially if you want to be successful.
And what are you guys excited to go back to cinema? This has got to be a question for me because
I don't care.
You now can just have
Yeah,
films
same.
released at home, right? And that's super convenient to be there in your living room or your bedroom, whatever, just chilling and doing it in your own space. But I remember before Corona and all of that, a big experience or a big outing once a month or whatever was to go hang out with friends and go see a film, go get dinner afterwards and that sort of thing. And there's part of me which is really looking forward to that, but then there's a part of me where it's like, I've saw the convenience of just being able to pop on and do whatever, you know, off Netflix or whichever service they're put on is super like useful and handy.
I mean, like you said, the only reason I would do it is to hang out with the boys. That's pretty much the only reason. Yeah, that's the only reasons I went to the last 5 times, pretty much. Just to hang out with Bonnie or a few other friends, just because, you know, it's like I said, it's like a trip, a fun thing to do, and I'm really there for the movie, because the movies I did watch were not really something I was hyped for. You know, it's fun to go out with the boys. Yeah, no, you are, but then again, you're the movie guy.
Still,
dude.
yeah,
You're the movie guy.
still, I didn't really go, like, cinema-wise, I only go for like the biggest movies. I don't go for like,
Star Wars.
Star Wars I would go for. I went
MCU?
I went for MCU, DC, but I won't go for anything else. Like
Mario movie? Question mark?
no,
No.
that's something I would
Minion
go
movie?
for. I would go for the Minion movie. That's main
I'm about to
event.
say,
Angry Birds 2?
I wouldn't. Wait, you're saying that? But no.
Yeah,
We watched
Pokemon.
Angry Birds.
You went to Pokemon, by the way.
Yeah,
That was like-
we went to Pokemon. That was also like we went. Yeah, we did that with the boys. I
I
don't
mean,
know
it
why.
was also a scam because it was in Dutch.
Yeah, it was. I remember coming there and we were all hyped because it was like Ryan Reynolds, so it would be funny a bit. And then we get there
Oh,
and it's like
Detective Pikachu, you mean?
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Not,
Yeah.
I was
And then
there
we
going
get
like
there.
a Pokemon film because they always bring them out. And I thought they came out recently on Netflix, like just straight to that.
Yeah.
So,
No, but
yeah.
we went there and we were like, you know, it's gonna be alright because there's Ryan Reynolds, so it will be quite kind of funny. And then we get there and it's like it's it's the Dutch version of it.
Yeah.
So
I
it
mean,
just
to be-
starts off. I'm like, no.
To be
please
fair,
don't.
it was our fault because we went there during like
Yeah.
the times kids would go to movies, you know.
We went,
like,
we went at
was
3
during work.
p.m.
It was during work hours pretty much, but like we all had a day off that day, so we're like, no, let's go to the movie. Then we're like, oh wait, it's in Dutch. Scammed.
So
Some random Dutch geezer.
So naturally, because being English or
Mhm.
you know British, every film is in English for us, and like the original Hollywood film. So
Yeah.
can you prepare like ahead of time to know which version they're showing, or
No, but it's only with childish movies that they do in Dutch. Like Star Wars isn't in Dutch. MCU isn't in Dutch. It's just like Pikachu
I mean, you say
was-
that, but Harry Potter is in Dutch. Harry Potter.
Oh, I definitely didn't expect
Because
that.
I would have
Yeah, but it
expected
is.
MCU films to be in Dutch as well, like
no,
because
no.
they're the bigger
That would
budget
just-
I don't
ones
know,
which they
actually.
can
Are you
afford
sure
to
about
do
it?
it. On
Yeah, I'm
launch, like,
100%
that.
sure because I went to MCU at like 10 a.m. once,
Uh,
and it was fully English.
Rise and shine. We got some Iron Man.
Yeah, it
to
was with
watch, yeah.
Endgame. Endgame was like 3 hours, so I was like, I'm not gonna do this at like 10 p.m.
Oh, no.
You know, it's the train shit
Ow.
and things like that. So I was like, I might as well just go early on and then
Yeah, sure,
the
because
rest of the day.
there's some Dutch in Spider-Man movie, dude.
There was
the
some
Dutch
in
scene,
Spider-Man.
dude. There's a Dutch
Yeah,
scene in there where they're
yeah,
talking
yeah.
Dutch, dude.
Wait,
Man,
what?
we got him good. Yeah,
Which
there's-
Spider-Man film
uh,
was this?
The newest one, Far From
Oh,
Home.
From
right.
Home,
I haven't
yeah.
seen that one yet. I've
dude.
got to.
Thing is, I actually know that you
Yeah,
probably
the
know this now,
actors.
the bald one, dude. I was like, yo, this guy's sick, dude. He made it in, my man.
Yeah, it was actually funny because the actors were like they're comedians here, and
Yeah,
it was actually
dude.
funny to see them. I didn't expect it at all. It was like the biggest surprise in that movie.
Yeah, dude. I was in the plane. I was just like, okay, I'm just some time. I'm gonna watch the movie. And I'm like, yo, wait, no way, dude. This is the guy. So I showed everyone in the plane, dude. My family.
So is it
"Oh,
like a
this
little
guy."
Easter egg for you guys to have?
Yeah,
like,
dude.
Yeah,
It was.
it's definitely an Easter egg for Dutch people.
I mean, the whole scene is that Easter egg because like they actually didn't do anything in the Netherlands. Like they went to other countries. So instead, they just did a few funny tidbits about how we all good in talking English, and they also showed a Dutch town. Like you could
The
tell.
most stereotypical Dutch town you would ever think
yeah,
of.
because most towns are not really towns that like you in the towns because
Mhm.
I live in a town, but it's over 30k people, you know, so it's not really a town in the UK. A town in the UK would be 40 people probably. You know, so it's not really the same. And then of course also the really, I guess you do have, but not every name is that weird. Of course, as that one. So just some stereotypical funny jokes. It was a good. I like the scene. It was a good scene. It's my favorite scene. A lot of scenes in one sentence there, which okay.
Well, I can
Good
remember definitely with like one of the funniest things for a mate was wherever like New Asgard is in the MCU is this very small fishing town up in Scotland. And he,
Oh, yeah,
and he has family from the area or whatever. And it was just very funny to see like now that's become like you can
Yeah.
go find it on Google Maps and that, and they've got suddenly a massive burst in tourism because it's New Asgard and it looks the exact same. And it's just quite funny of how he was like, oh yeah, that's my family's house over there in one of the scenes. It actually gets pointed out, and it's just like super unique in how does the MCU sort of go out and find these places? Because they've got to have like location scouters for every scene. You know,
They have location scouts. That's pretty much how it works.
like
you
with
have a shit ton of
Spider-Man, you
people
can.
go-
Is it the Statue of Liberty they go up or something like that? And you can be not Statue of
No.
Liberty. It's a different place there. But yeah, you can go. Yeah, and he's going up the Washington Memorial, or whatever.
Yeah.
But when it comes to a very small town that you want to make look like in the comics, like we said with New Asgard, you've got to really go find those places, don't you?
Yeah. Well, yeah, definitely. That's why
I mean-
the scouts. That's pretty much. It's a job. It's a legitimate job. People just do that 24/7.
Mm.
You should look at the Joker staircase, right? Also got a lot of
Yeah.
tourists.
yeah.
And people actually got mad because a lot of the tourists there.
Always
It
brings
makes
me back
sense.
to a Dutch interview, dude. If you
Yeah, I know,
if
dude.
you get that out there.
I know that one, dude. It's a good meme. It's a good meme.
Uh,
But like, I mean, it would be cool to, like, I guess, have your town in there. But if it gets a spike of tourists or it just gets too busy,
Mhm.
I feel with those people, dude. Because there's not really much you can do about it. Because you can't really stop them from going there. But you also kind of lost your, I guess, peace and quiet in the place you did live. Although they live in the city, I guess, but still.
yeah,
I- I-
I feel like with the Joker thing, it's like New York. Come on, man. You gotta. It could happen anytime. So.
Wasn't he like in Detroit or something? This jackass.
Oh,
Or
I
am
thought it was
wrong?
in New York, but
I don't
yeah,
know.
Detroit could be possible.
I thought
Wouldn't be
it was,
surprised.
I thought it was a smaller town, but a city. So I don't know.
Yeah. I was gonna say Detroit's not really a small city, you know.
Nah, and I feel like
No,
Detroit is
smaller.
also like, is Detroit really a place where you still want to go these days?
Well,
They're, they're
I'm
rejuvenated
research.
over there, yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's-
not a research, dude.
You know, nature of life.
Okay, we
But
gotta get research. Easy.
Just off the
Let's
back
go.
of that,
Oh, it
because
is
I
New
know a
York.
lot of the
Yeah,
Harry
okay.
Potter films were filmed near me, but where they're just, you know, generic forest scenes and all of that, you don't really come out to where I live to go look at forest, because it's not really any different to any other forest, you know?
No.
Excuse
So-
me, it's the forest from Harry Potter, dude.
Yeah.
What?
You gotta go there.
It's trees.
It's trees.
But one of the funniest films I can remember is a mate of mine was walking his dog, just generally during the day, and they were filming one of the scenes for the last film, and he got caught on camera and just like with random people running across, and he's like, oh shit, because he's just gone
I'm
in
in the
from like one
movie.
of the, you know, back entrances of someone's residence from his house, and yeah, that was just quite funny, where he's just disturbing the entire filming scene because he's walking his dog and didn't even realize. So
Pretty sick, dude.
I wonder how many films get problems like that, you know?
A lot.
Probably.
A lot.
Yeah,
Everything
every
that's
public
in a
spaces.
public space has that problem.
I
Still cool though, dude. You could be in the deleted scenes if you're lucky.
wonder if because
Yeah,
I always
definitely
thought
happen.
about that, like when you are doing scenes in New York or around London, and just like how many takes they must have to do because some random clueless person has walked across the scene and gone, like, you know, waved at the camera because he's like, oh, well, that's cool.
They
forget.
they close it off like twice. It's like they do a very big space that they close off, and then they close a different section of that they put guards, and then they have like kind of a fake put on, like it's with Captain America where he runs into New York, like that one
Yeah.
scene, and then you have Nick Fury who walks up to him and he's in the middle of Times Square, and then you have the people just walking on the sideway. Well, it's pretty much faked up. Behind those people, it's the actual people looking at the scene. Because I looked at the behind the scenes, I was like, oh, that's how they did it. It makes a lot more sense that people
Like-
were not like, oh wow, would you look at that? It's an MCU movie being shot right here. I could be in it.
I mean, of course, they also make sets that look
Yeah,
similar and blue screen, green screen, all that kind of stuff. Like, I'm pretty sure you've all seen the memes about how it looks in the movie and how it looks in real life. Swinging his arms, like, whoa. Like it kind of takes with the magic, because you're a kid, like, you be an actor, dude. I wanna be like in Lord of the Rings to fight orcs and stuff, dude. And then you just know it's all green screen, all
In a
fake.
green
like,
or blue
oh,
room,
man.
yeah.
Yeah, like, oh man.
Just
I
guy
wanted
with
to
a
write
massive
down
squeeze
amount
that
of
like
dots on it.
Legolas.
I mean, yeah, you look at freaking Red Dead Redemption 2. Like, it's all fake, dude. It's all like dots on their entire body in a blue room. Like, wow,
Yeah, you hate to see
rip,
it.
dude. Yeah, then you play the game like, oh, this is sick, dude. I want to be here. No. Not
I
happening.
find that's cool with games though, how much mocap is going into video games. Like, especially with animals, that feels like such a unique one where going to that detail to mocap a horse or a cat or a dog, it's just super cool because it's easier to do on humans because you can understand it and all of that. And we're getting so many actors in video games these days, but just to go to that level of detail for animals, it's just super cool. And I don't know, it gives more validity to how games can be a form of art.
I mean, like, it's also kind of needed because things you know from real life that you see almost on the daily, you're gonna see a flaw, even if it's really small, really easy, opposed to it being not real, like an alien. Because with an alien, you don't know if there's a flaw to it, but if it's just a cat that you see every day, you're gonna see its leg moving weird, you know? So.
I guess that's where the whole uncanny valley sort of stuff comes into it, you know, of like animation, how you get so close to being human, it's all cartoon, then no, because it's so close yet your brain can tell that something's wrong with it.
Yeah.
And it's just, it's seen as disgusting and weird.
That's how it be, dude. That's how it be.
Like, Polar Express. You guys seen that film? Like that
Dude,
looks
I love
so
Polar
odd.
Express.
Don't roast
I
the
love Polar Express, dude.
It's one of the best winter movies ever.
Dude, I like the train conductor. Dude. He's the main event train
Tom Hanks,
conductor.
yeah.
I like him, dude.
I don't even know his name. It's Tom Hanks. That's it.
I'm pretty sure it's probably just train conductor. It wouldn't surprise me.
Probably, yeah.
If he doesn't have a name. But you're saying, dude, I'm pretty sure you've won every race for, by the way.
Hey, yeah, I have. I'm
is
still
there,
in
I
the...
feel like is there even people behind you?
Yeah, you can see the class leader behind him.
Yeah. So rally is done like time trials. That's why.
Well,
Ah,
So
so there
I'm
isn't
not
people behind
directly
him.
racing. Yeah, no. That's just like the marker, and that's like I want to say 15 seconds.
He also
22.
has a guy talking in his ear every time about it.
Yeah, right. I've got audio on for me for everyone at home.
Less than 3 meters.
so that I
right?
can
Yeah.
hear. Yeah.
It's really annoying when I played this. I didn't like it.
No, you've got to have it. Otherwise, you got to look up because you need to know what turns are coming up. Like,
I know, but
Listen, dude, it's just like real
that-
life. Real life won't tell you where you have to go.
no, I know,
Gotta
but
look,
I mean, that's why I don't like this form of racing. I prefer F1 or Gran Turismo, where you can just see it on the map. So I can just look at the map and don't have to listen to someone. Because especially because I play downstairs, and like I said, I live in a big household with 5 other people, so no, I can't just listen to TV all day long. So it's gonna be hard to know these things, anyways.
just put earphones in. You know,
Dude,
it's the reason I love the PS4.
being a
and the
goblin
PS5
in the
controller
house,
so much.
dude,
Is that you can put earphones into your controller.
I'm not gonna be a goblin,
incredible.
dude. I'm not gonna be a goblin in the downstairs where everyone's
Yeah,
around,
you know, in
dude,
the
but-
dark, he's in the corner just sitting
Ignore them
there.
all, dude. I'm racing. Oh, we're gonna go left at 3 meters. Nah, dude. I wanna listen along what's going on, dude. I'm there.
And the
for the
stereo,
memes.
dude, gives you the full experience.
Yeah, you're not wrong, dude. Pretty good stereo. There you go. Another first place. C Dyer, he's too OP, dude. Too OP.
Love to see it.
Love to see it.
One thing I'd love to see as well, guys.
Yeah.
I think is
Yeah,
everyone
here it
coming back
comes.
next week because I've looked at
Oh.
it. We're sort of teetering out now. We
We
should
are.
probably
taking
look
a
to
while.
close things up, right?
I'm
Yeah.
down. I'm pretty tired, dude. I've celebrated a birthday tonight, dude. So let's stop. Let's finish it off.
Let's finish it up indeed. So, massive thank you, of course, Chew and Buns. I've really enjoyed our chat today. We've gone more away from games and into films and TV, which I love as a little segue for this week. And who knows, maybe we'll talk about films and TV more in the future. But with that said, massive shout out to everyone at home to listening in. Whether actually, if you're at home right now on the train, getting back into the workforce, love wherever you listen to us, and of course, watch us over on YouTube. Make sure to head on over. Just search Kappa Club Cast or podcast. Should be able to find us pretty easily from the back of that. Of course, Spotify, Anchor FM, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. We've got across so many different places, so wherever you get your podcast, just search for Kappa Club Podcast. But with that said, make sure to tune on in next Tuesday because that's when we'll see you once again. Until then, stay safe. We'll see you soon.
Goodbye.
Ciao bello.